во-первых, народу мама, музыка не очень.
А что за направление?
А?
Что за направление?
Направление? Какое направление?
Что за направление музыки играет сейчас?
Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up.
Welcome back to our channel, Cardano News. Today we are here with a new video that speaks about, quote, "We kept this a secret long enough." Hoskinson explains why Cardano is on the verge of greatness. But before we get started, subscribe to our channel to never miss a crypto update. So without any further delay, let's get started quickly. Cardano Crypto ADA tokens show strong momentum in trading and make impressive profits. Cryptocurrencies rose about 13.4% at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, according to S&P Global Market Intelligence data. Major cryptocurrencies have seen volatile fluctuations throughout their 2021 transactions, but many top tokens have recently enjoyed a strong bullish momentum. Cardano's ADA token has emerged as one of the best performing crypto assets of the year and has become a broader market rally in combination with future listings. New exchanges and new feature rollouts drive profits. Some analysts and crypto enthusiasts were afraid that the big news infrastructure bill in the United States would include new regulations that would make crypto trading more difficult and less profitable. It does not seem to happen. Its potential risk factors seem hidden, but cryptocurrencies have been making big profits these days. Cardano enjoys positive momentum ahead of ADA's listing on the Japanese crypto exchange on August 25th. In addition to the generally bullish sentiment in the crypto sector, ADA is also creating excitement ahead of pending renewals, rolling out in September, paving the way for smart contracts on the Cardano blockchain. Cardano currently has a market capitalization of approximately $94 billion. Its ADA token has increased by about 1,420% since the beginning of this year, making it the third largest cryptocurrency by market capitalization, second only to Ethereum and Bitcoin. Especially last month, the cryptocurrency market enjoyed a solid bullish momentum, with Cardano up to 126% overall, Bitcoin up about 52%, and Ethereum's price per Ethereum up 62%. Predicting pricing actions in Cardano and the broader crypto market requires a great deal of speculation, but there are some significant potential catalysts for ADA. In particular, the next upgrade fork financial feature, which paves the way for innovative contract features and other decentralization, is a notable event. Cardano's benchmarking of Bitcoin and Ethereum, in essence, is aimed at digital currency and smart contracts. That is, the blockchain 1.0 and 2.0 that are currently being discussed in the circle. The Internet of the future is the Internet of value. What circulates on it is not the copy of the information, but the transfer of real value. The emergence of Bitcoin allows us to digitize assets and transfer them point to point. Ethereum is one step closer to Bitcoin and can automate asset transfers in the form of contracts. It can be said that we are already moving towards a value network, but just as the computer has just had a UI, it is novel but straightforward. When Bitcoin and Ethereum were faced with large-scale use, they began to fall apart, and the degree of the scale was meager. Moreover, platforms based on the POW consensus algorithm will often fork due to upgrades and different opinions, undermining community unity. These are the main problems faced by Bitcoin and Ethereum. Cardano is a blockchain 3.0 solution to solve issues such as blockchain scale and sustainable development. Cardano's R&D process is very rigorous. It does not use white papers to define the technical route like other blockchain platforms. Instead, it is led by a group of scientists. The articles are first reviewed and then peer-reviewed, approaching the mathematical logical level. Perfect. Afterwards, the IOHK engineers wrote the code. To avoid program crashes or blockchain forks caused by the program bugs, softwares, developers use Haskell's functional programming language to build the platform, which shows the team's degree of care for the project. Cardano Team. There are mainly three organizations supporting the development of Cardano: the Cardano Foundation, Emergo, and IOHK. The main work of the foundation is to regulate, protect, and promote the Cardano Agreement. That is, to formulate ecological regulations and standards and community construction. The main job of Emergo is to incubate startups based on the Cardano ecosystem and assist commercial enterprises to access the Cardano ecosystem. The last IOHK is a blockchain technology company founded by former Ethereum core developer Charles Hoskinson, which is mainly responsible for establishing the Cardano platform. Cardano technology. To benchmark Bitcoin and Ethereum more accurately, Cardano split the project into a settlement layer, digital currency, and a calculation layer, smart contract. The Cardano SL is a cryptocurrency designed and developed by IOHK in collaboration with the University of Edinburgh, Athens, and the University of Connecticut, codenamed ADA. The Cardano calculation layer, Cardano CL, is still under development, so here we focus on the knowledge of the settlement layer. Cardano Settlement Layer, ADA. The Cardano Settlement Layer deals with Bitcoin, although both belong to digital cryptocurrency. There are many differences between the two. The most important difference is that Bitcoin is a digital currency based on proof of work, POW, while ADA uses proof of stake. The POW consensus and competitive block generation mechanism adopted by BTC make energy consumption more and more, and it is more and more difficult for miners to mine. This is why everyone is keen to study BFT and POS consensus algorithms recently. The POS consensus algorithm adopted by ADA is called Ouroboros. It is the only secure blockchain equity proof algorithm based on scientific proof. It does not need to waste power resources but randomly selects any node as the zone. For block producers, the probability of being selected is proportional to the node's equity. In ADA, the so-called equity refers to the relative value of the node's currency holdings, which can be simply regarded as the node's currency holding value, the total value of the entire network. If a node's equity is greater than 0, it is called the owner of the equity, and if it is selected as a block producer, the node is also called the slot leader, which is equivalent to a Bitcoin miner. Ouroboros Agreement. The Ouroboros protocol divides time into epochs. Each epoch is divided into multiple slots. Within a slot time period, 20 seconds, there is one and only one leader who is responsible for generating a block. If the leader fails to generate a block for some reason during his slot, then he will waste this opportunity unless he is elected as the leader again. That is to say, one or more slots can be empty. No blocks are generated. But during an epoch, most of the slots, 50% plus 1, must be generated by blocks, which means that most of them are needed. The nodes are all honest. So how is the slot leader selected? The basic condition is equity owners, but not all equity owners can be elected, and there are barriers to entry. For example, node equity accounts for 2% of the entire network's equity. If the 2% entry threshold is used, there will be no more than 50 nodes in the entire ADA network that can become candidates. With the decentralization of rights and interests, there will be fewer candidates and more concentrated rights. And the more rights and interests the owner has, the more likely it is to be elected as the leader of the slot. So it can also be said that POS is rich human game, but there's another function of equity delegation in ADA. Simply put, the rights and interests of multiple accounts can be concentrated to make them candidates, and each account can receive dividends proportionally. After the candidates are established, how to elect the slot leader in the next epoch? The fundamental of election is randomness. In ADA, multi-party computation is used to realize the randomness of the election. Each candidate independently generates its own random result, but after multi-party coordination, they eventually get the random same seed. After the corresponding epoch starts, all candidate nodes enter the random seed and slot index according to the follow the Satoshi algorithm, and then they know the leader of the corresponding slot. If it is the node itself, then it will package the transaction and receives into a block, similar to Bitcoin. And if the leader of the current slot is not itself, it will wait for the block broadcast. If the slot has not been received after the slot time block, the block is considered to be skipped. The above is the block production process of ADA. The description here is very simple, and interested friends can read the information in the reference list to understand its essence. Account model. Because the settlement layer is based on Bitcoin, a relatively simple digital currency, the so-called purely refers to a design without smart contracts attached. Many designs follow the Bitcoin approach, such as UTXO for the account model, The so-called UTXO refers to the unspent transaction output. Each transaction should have N transaction inputs and M transaction outputs. N and M can be different. The transaction input is the unspent transaction output of any previous transaction. If the current transaction is executed, the previous transaction's output will become the transaction output of the transaction, and it will lose its qualification as a transaction input. Therefore, each slot leader in the network receives the transaction and verifies the legitimacy of the transaction input. In order to verify the transaction, each node must keep track of the output of the unspent transaction so that it can verify whether the input in the current transaction has not been spent. If all transaction inputs are unspent, then the transaction is proven. It is legal and will be received by the current leader and packaged into blocks. The UTXO model can track the flow of digital currency. Unspent transaction input tells where the currency comes from, and unspent transaction output tells where the currency goes. So that's all for today's video. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you hit a like and subscribe to our channel, Cardano News. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section.